Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's the Level 1 Podcast. I'm DSP, and this is the beginning of the final week of the year. Today is Friday, the 29th of December, 2023, and things are still merry and bright around here. I don't know about you. I know that Christmas is come and gone, and we're now heading into the end of the year. In fact, this Monday coming up will actually be the new year of 2024. But around here, we stay festive. The snow keeps falling, and the vibes stay chill. So I welcome you all to the show. How's everyone doing? I hope you're all doing well, and I hope that you had a great day yesterday. Remember, I was not here yesterday because it was my day off for the week, which was well received. How can I say? Basically, it was a good day because after the vibes of the holiday week, as much as the holiday week was good, basically it kind of threw things into disarray, you know, having the special holiday marathon, the half day for Christmas Eve or whatever. Now heading into this week, it'll be a normal week, right? No crazy stuff out of the ordinary. It's a normal week of full streaming, finishing up playthroughs. No, I don't do anything crazy for New Year's. Trust me, after all the things that we do for Christmas and the like, it's good to not do anything special for New Year's, but instead have a normal week. However, that doesn't mean there's nothing special coming, because the week after is my year-end series, which we're going to talk about a good amount today. In fact, did I set this up? Yes, I did. So I can use that later. Good, because I couldn't remember if I'd set that up or not. So, yeah, good stuff going on. And of course, when we're starting up a new week, it's always good to reassess where exactly we are with everything, so you guys can know what exactly to expect in the coming week. And then to talk a little bit about gaming news. We got a little bit of news to talk about today, not too much. A brief Phil's Day Off segment. As we are fast approaching 2024, I'd like to give you a few teasers of a couple of things that may be coming. One of which I probably can fully talk about today, because it's something that's all, in the realm of my control, and something that I've been thinking about for a while, and I'm just trying to figure out how to work it into my schedule, essentially. But yeah, let's talk, shall we? Let's have a good podcast today, and after that, we roll more into Baldur's Gate 3, which I'm actually really excited for today's Baldur's Gate 3 stream because of what happened on Wednesday, which we're about to talk about. So there we go. All right. So before we get too ahead of ourselves, let's scoot back and let's talk about what happened on Wednesday's streams. So everyone is aware of where we are and what's going on. So, on Wednesday, we had a fun full stream of Baldur's Gate 3. Last week, even though it was a holiday week, I still played 9+ hours of Baldur's Gate. I told you guys I was committing to that being the major stream for like the next month, and I didn't want to cut back on the amount of gameplay I was doing of it. I wanted to keep that momentum going. What ended up suffering last week definitely was RoboCop. We didn't play RoboCop at all last week as a result of the holiday. But now we're going to roll further into it and this week, we'll talk about that in a second, how we're going to try to wrap it up this week. But anyway, so Wednesday was a major stream of Baldur's Gate 3, and basically, the stream before, I totally explored the Underdark for 3 hours, and I really enjoyed it, and it was challenging, and I was getting all these cool items and things, and everyone was enjoying it, but they were like, technically, that's not really the order that the game intends you to do, although the fun thing about Baldur's Gate 3 is that you could kind of do it in any order. But the concern was that if I continued in the Underdark and kept going down there, that I was going to end up jumping like ahead of where the game really intended me to go story-wise, and then by the time that I backtracked to do the other story I had kind of skipped, I would be way too powerful, and things wouldn't be very challenging. It would just be like a steamrolling, which I guess is fine, but I don't really know how entertaining that would be, right? I really don't know how entertaining it would be for just me to steamroll the whole thing. And I'll be honest, Underdark is fun, but it does seem like a giant area of exploration and fighting tough enemies, but it doesn't necessarily seem like there's a lot of story down there, right? Or maybe what it was is that I'm there too early, so there's no story down there. So last time around, I opted and said, instead of doing more Underdark, let's go back to the surface of, the world. Let's explore further, because we already had other missions to do up there, so let's just check those out. We can always go back to Underdark, because I have a fast travel point down there. So that's what we did, and we headed southward, which was an area that was a swamp, and in this swamp we found a lot of stuff. We ran into a bunch of unique monsters we hadn't fought yet, swamp creatures or whatever. We found a hidden note inside of a tree, a hollowed out tree, that basically said that the person who was temporarily in charge back at the Druid camp was not who she said she was, that she had malicious intentions to take over the Druids and kind of lead them in a different direction than what probably most of the Druids agreed with. And therefore, it was kind of like a big plot reveal, like, oh, so now we have an option to go back to the Druid camp and confront that woman who's leading the Druids with this new evidence and say, hey, what do you think you're doing here, and see how she reacts. So that was kind of neat. So then we continued on to explore the swamp, and we found all kinds of interesting things. We actually broke the spell of the swamp, which is unique, because I guess if you don't break the spell of the swamp, it looks like this beautiful meadow with all this stuff going on. But then you could actually get, like, attacked by what appear to be peaceful creatures. But if you break the spell of the swamp, you actually see it's a disgusting swamp that's dangerous, and, don't eat the food. It's all rotten and poisoned, and creatures that look like they're buying like sheep are actually dangerous enemies, right? So we did that. There was another side content deal with a vampire hunter that we dealt with, and then finally we went to the hag or witch's hut, and there is the woman who supposedly is like controlling everything in the swamp, and we actually, inadvertently, because I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just playing the game honestly for the first time, bypassed a whole segment, like the whole intro segment of that storyline, and ended up sneaking down into this underground area, and then basically engaged in a couple different fights and a bunch of booby traps. By the end of the stream, we had this epic boss fight against the hag, and we beat her. And that's where we left off. Like, we beat her, and I was already out of time. Like, we had already gone late. And I was like, oh, okay. So I guess let's just continue this next time. And that's what we're doing today. Like, today, we're going to... Was there any loot, right, as a result of... Excuse me. As a result of winning the fight. By the way, I have bad postnasal drip today, and I don't know why. I woke up with it, so that's what I'm... It's kind of really bothering me today, and I apologize. I'm trying to tough through it, and typically, by the time the podcast is over, it usually lessens. But I just have to tough through it today, so apologies there. But yeah, so today we're going to pick up where we left off. We're going to loot the area of the hag that we kill, and then we're going to continue to search everywhere and see, is there anything else going on, in this general area? There was a door to open. Can we help this woman who was pregnant and was going to give her baby to the hag to save her deceased husband? Is there any way we can, like, make her not be crazy? Because she seems pretty crazy. And all this stuff. And we're going to continue from there. Now, I'll be honest, I think what I want to do once we finish the Hag plot line, I think I want to go back to the Druid camp today and confront the Druid leader, well, the temporary Druid leader, and say, hey, we got this evidence that you're not who you say you are, that you're trying to do malicious stuff. What do you think? And I'm very curious to see what happens next, and that's where I want to go today in the game. So I'm excited. As you can tell, I'm into the story, right? I'm actually engaged in the story and everything now, which is good. You guys have been amazing. Every time I play Baldur's Gate 3, you show up, you engage, you support. These streams have done well. Obviously, since we're planning on playing this for a whole month, the next major releases that come out are January 26th. So this is going to be my major game for the next month, 9+ hours a week. I'm hoping you guys are going to be here for the long haul. You're going to continue to show up and engage and support these streams, because I would love to keep this as the major featured game for a whole month, right? We'll see how far into the game we actually are by the time that finishes. So, very nice, right? Okay. Then tonight on the late stream, it's going to be Friday Night Fights, Street Fighter 6, and I'll be honest with you, I'm on the fence whether or not I want to play with Blanca a second time like I did last week, or if I should go back to Lily for a stream. Honestly, I kind of feel like Lily tonight. Reason being, I haven't used Lily in a bit now, and we could just do a casual night with Lily to try to get back into the swing of things of using her. If you didn't notice, when we were playing with Blanca last week, we played a ton of master players anyway in casual play. Like, even though we weren't doing ranked matches, it was just like a ton of master level players anyway. So I feel like that might be a good thing to do, is to get back into the swing of things with Lily, try to remember how to use her, and strategies and stuff, and see if I can win some matches, because she is one of the worst characters in the game, but I got her to master. So I think that's what we're going to do tonight, unless people completely disagree and are like, nah, please play Blanca again. I think I want to try with Lily tonight on the late stream, okay? So that'll be our fighting game fix for now. Tomorrow we're going to play RoboCop, and when I say that, I mean it's basically going to be endgame content. RoboCop Rogue City has been a great playthrough. We're now around 20 hours in, and we're nearing the end. But from what people have said, there's about 9 story missions left and the possibility of a little bit of extra side content before the end of the game. Well, I don't think I'm going to beat 9 missions in one stream. I don't even see how that's possible. So if that's the case, that's going to be a major stream for Saturday, okay? And we'll see how that goes. We'll see how far we get. And if I get really far, and it actually looks like we're about to finish the game, then I'm going to squeeze in another stream of a night stream this week to finish it. But if we need another major stream of RoboCop to finish it, I'm totally okay with doing that again, say like Tuesday, to wrap it up and give it a full second stream to finish the game. Okay? So really we have to see how things go tomorrow during that stream and how far we get and judge from there. Now, for Saturday night, that's going to be Like a Dragon Gaiden. And for those who have been following the playthrough, you already know. But for those who are not following the playthrough, we are very close to the end. Basically, we have 2 things left to do. The major story and this other side quest that opened up to defeat the 4 kings who are supposed to be the toughest fighters in the Colosseum in the game. We already beat the first one. And now it's unlocked the next 3 before I'm going to understand these are pretty tough fights, to the point where I may have to do some grinding in order to level up all of my party members in the Colosseum to have them good enough to actually win these fights. But apparently it is like, there is plot involved in it. It is part of the game that if you miss it, you are missing out on some of the plot. So I kind of want to do it. So tomorrow night, that's what we're doing. We're starting up with those matches. If they're too hard, we'll grind some platinum matches and try to level up and go from there. We may have an entire Colosseum night tomorrow night in Like a Dragon Gaiden. Now, I've spoken with my wife who beat this game a while ago, and she's like, if you just focus on the story, you'll probably beat this game in 3 hours. That's about what's left. And she's like, yeah, outside of that, the side content is what you're doing. You've done all the Akame network missions. There's no other, like, random missions in the environment to do. Like, you've done everything. So because of that, pretty much you've got the Colosseum. There's the earrings you have to give to one person in the city, and that's it. Like, that's the game. Just the story is left. So that's why tomorrow night I want to focus on the Colosseum stuff. We'll see how far we get. But, chances are, by the end of this week, if everything is going according to plan, likely we'll either have finished or be right near the end and ready for one more stream to finish RoboCop. And we'll be, again, either have finished or right at the end of Like a Dragon Gaiden, which means next week when we finish those up, we'll be ready to move forward into other content, okay? So, that's cool. Now, what else is going on this week? Well, on Sunday, we've got DSP versus the Internet, my weekly React show over on my sister channel, DSP React. And I hope that if you're a member over there, that you'll please submit your questions for the show. The questions. Boy, I'm pretty stupid. Please submit your clips for the show. The more clips, the better the show is. And it is the end of the year, year-end stuff, I'm not exactly sure what you guys would want me to watch. I'm sure there may be some residual Christmas-themed stuff, but is there anything that's New Year's themed or, moving forward positively for the next year? Anything else, heading into this new year? I'm curious to see what the show will be about. It is the final React show of 2023, and incidentally, it's episode 45 of DSP versus the Internet, so pretty cool. I hope you'll join me for that. Now, Sunday night is up in the air. If it looks like we could possibly beat RoboCop with just another quick 2-hour stream, then I want to finish it on Sunday night, okay? But that's no guarantee. We may need more than one major stream for RoboCop to beat it, maybe 2 or 3. So if that's the case, then Sunday night is open. And I have a few ideas. I mean, idea number 1 would be to do some Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer, but I've kind of settled in of just playing that once a week. And I was thinking we'd probably do that later in the week. So now I have these options, like, what should I do? And I'm mulling it over in my head, and I'm like, one thing we could do, we could just start Sea of Stars early. We could just do like a preview 2-hour stream to get through the intro and see what the game is like, and get that playthrough rolling, because that is one of the ones that I want to do in January. And this way it'll give us a little bit of a head start and a taste of things to come before we can heavily get into it, right? So I'm definitely debating possibly doing that, okay? So let's think about it. But Sunday night is up in the air. What do you want to see, right? Then on Monday, it'll be more Baldur's Gate 3 and more Street Fighter 6. Whether it's Lily or Blanca or Dalsim will decide, okay? Tuesday, if we need that major stream of RoboCop, it'll be RoboCop. If not, then we can get a head start on the Resident Evil 0 playthrough, which we've already talked about and agreed that the Resident Evil 0 remastered would be a great game for January to have survival horror variety. It's a game I haven't played in 8 years. I only did one playthrough, and quite frankly, I don't really remember the playthrough. So it would be pretty cool to jump into this game a second time, now with an interactive live stream, with face cam, with all the new stuff that I now do that's so different from what I did 8 years ago. It'd be really cool to do another playthrough of it, okay? So maybe we'll start that Tuesday. It all depends. Tuesday night will be Like a Dragon Gaiden again, and whether we beat it or not, I don't know, but we'll get near the end. And then Wednesday will be more Baldur's Gate 3. And Wednesday night was going to be the one night that I do Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer for variety. But if we play Sea of Stars on Sunday night and we like it, and we just want to go ahead and say, screw Modern Warfare 3, let's just do more Sea of Stars, we could do that Wednesday night too. Okay? So basically this week is kind of a year-ending week, right? It's going to have a lot of playthroughs nearing the end, if not finishing, and the possibility of starting up the new stuff that's going to be going on for the month of January. Now, just to give you guys a heads up, next week will be a little different, because next week is my year-end series. Not this week coming now, but next week. So that what's going to happen is night streams next week are each going to be different year-end projects, okay? One night is going to be the most disappointing games of 2023 countdown, where I'm going to go through all the playthroughs that I did this year, and I'm going to pick the ones that I felt were the most disappointing in one night for a late night stream, probably between an hour to 2 hours. We're going to be right here, and I'm going to be counting down those most disappointing games of the year. So I guess we can officially now put the artwork up. Yes, this will be the start of DSP's year-end series, all right? And we'll probably do it over the weekend. I'm thinking, like, Friday night we'll probably still do Friday Night Fights. So not tonight, but next Friday. We'll probably still do Friday Night Fights. But then maybe, like, that Saturday night, we'll do DSP's year-end series, the most disappointing games of the year, okay? And then that Sunday, likely, I'm trying to think, likely on Sunday I have to do patron stuff, because it'll be the first Sunday of the month, and usually it's that first Sunday night of the month is when I do patron private reacts and things like that. So probably not Sunday night, but then Monday, I'll probably do my Game of the Year awards countdown, okay? And then maybe we'll take a break on Tuesday night, and then maybe Wednesday to end the week, we're going to do the new one, which is the fan-voted best playthroughs of 2023. So what's the difference between my own Game of the Year award picks and the best fan-voted playthroughs? Well, very simply, you're voting for the best playthroughs of the year. Best playthrough of the year may be a game that is not a game that was a brand new game that's my Game of the Year pick. It could very well be a classic playthrough, a throwback playthrough that I did during the course of the year, or just a random game that was selected for filler. Hell, a lot of people might say my Oblivion playthrough was their favorite playthrough of the year. That's certainly not a Game of the Year contender. What about Chrono Trigger, right? What about some multiplayer games? Like, what about Modern Warfare 3? Maybe that's been your favorite playthrough. Or maybe you think my Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough, that now we are, I want to say, like 24 hours into? Hold on, because I actually haven't refreshed my page here. Yeah, maybe you think the Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough is the best playthrough of the year, right? So, vote. How do you vote? Type exclamation point best of 2023 into the chat, and that's going to bring up your thread. Nominate your favorite playthrough. You literally have like 2 more days to do this, because probably by Monday, I'm going to create the poll. And then you are going to vote on that poll for a week on what are your favorite playthroughs of the year, and then that results of that poll will become my final year-end series for that first full week of January. So next week, this week is a normal week of all gameplay. Next week's a little different, because out of my night content, 3 nights are going to be my year-end series. So just expect that. Expect that first week of January, things will be a little different when it comes to my content. And then after that, we're full speed ahead into new game playthroughs and everything for the year. Okay? So please dominate, and I hope that you guys will think carefully, and the most nominated games will hit that poll this weekend, and then, well, probably Monday, and then full speed ahead for the year-end series. Now, a couple other things. I will say this, and this is just a very vague preview, I know. In 2024, there's a few interesting things in the works. That's all I'm going to say. That's literally it. I'm not going to give you any more information, because I don't want everyone's going to speculate, I know. There's a few interesting ideas that I've had and things I'm working on that I think you guys are going to like. But I'm the kind of guy, as you all know, I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. As you know from my behavior these last few years, I don't want to get ahead of myself and tell you half a story before the story is done and then leave you hanging. I'd rather that everything is complete, all the pieces are in place, everything's ready to go before I make any announcements. All right? But what I will just tell you is this. "2024 is stacking up to be one of the most, if not the most interesting year that I've ever been on the internet for me and possibly you. Let's just put it that way. There are things coming that you guys have asked for a while that may or may not happen, but I hope they do. So I'm just going to say that, like, big things coming in 2024. All right? Now, one thing that I can talk about, because this one 100% is actually in my power, is that I feel like within the first couple months of 2024, I should take action on the backup hard drive archives, the lost media that has been lost for so many years, and then refound last year when I went into the closet and I found the hard drives and we accessed them live on a stream, all right? And we found out that the lost media existed and could actually be used, all right? Now you might be saying, well, what lost media? Well, there's various different playthroughs that have been lost to time because I had those videos on other YouTube channels. You see, back in the day, 10, 15 years ago, YouTube was a very different animal, right? Back then it was like the Wild West. No one actually knew if it was okay to upload gameplay footage or not, and people were afraid of certain companies. Rockstar was one, and Square Enix was another, where you were always afraid if you were to upload content from their new releases that they were going to strike you down with copyright strikes or takedown requests. And so, basically, those were videos like my original Red Dead Redemption playthrough, my original LA Noire playthrough, okay? The Suicide King series of Red Dead Redemption, where I did online play sessions with friends and other people who joined me, and we just did crazy stunts and things like that, plus the entirety of my original Final Fantasy 13 playthrough. I mean, that's no exaggeration. Between those playthroughs, that's over 100 hours of gameplay right there. that's been lost to time because those channels were erased from YouTube when someone hacked them and put up illegal football or soccer footage and then got the channels banned, okay? So, what I would like to do, either January or February or during that time frame, is set something up on YouTube that's not this channel, all right? I don't want to do it on this channel because this channel already has enough content. It's all the new stuff. I don't want to inundate subscribers of this channel with a ton of new videos that are actually 15 years old and they don't care about, right? I don't want I've worked really hard to build this channel up for as little viewership as I get, let's be honest. So I don't want to hamper that in any way, shape, or form, all right? So what I'm going to do is basically find a place, and I don't know where it's going to be yet, but I have an idea, where we're going to upload all of that classic content. And I don't know if it'll be called like DSP's Lost Media or DSP's Archives or the old school, we'll think about it. I'll get some ideas in my head of what I want to call it. And basically what I will do is make that channel, and I will upload slowly that content. Arguably maybe 5 to 10 videos a day, like overnight, right? That's what I would do. Like, basically I would at night set up my normal stuff to upload here on DSPGaming like I always do, but then when I'm done with that, jump over to that other channel and queue up 5 or 10 videos, because you got to understand that the videos back then were only 15 minutes long at max. Some were 10, some were 15. That Final Fantasy 13 playthrough is over, well, I think it's around 200 parts because they're 15 minutes long, you see? So that's a lot of work, and the thing is, those video files are giant because they were filmed with a camera. They're not direct capture, like what you're literally watching me broadcast and upload right now. This podcast is completely encoded. The size is shrunken before, and then it's run through YouTube filters and encoded. Those are raw files. They're huge. A single 15-minute file from back then is bigger than a 1-hour file that I put out today. So it takes forever to upload them. So I want to do this starting in January if I can. Only reason I say I don't want to promise again, I don't like to overpromise and underdeliver. I don't want to say I'm absolutely doing it in January and then something happens, right? You never know what's going to happen. I don't want something to happen and then I can't do it because something crazy comes in the middle. But it is my intention that at some point in January coming up, I will actually start uploading this lost media slowly but surely. Whether it's 5 videos, 10 videos a night, whatever it is, at least it's going somewhere and people will watch it. Now, here's the thing. I need people's buy-in that they're going to be interested and at least watch it. If I'm putting all this extra time and effort into doing this, and these videos are getting 10 views, then it's not worth my time. Just being honest. It's not. I have better things to do. I'll spend time with my family. I'll work on other content rather than sitting here uploading these videos. But people have been asking me for these lost playthroughs for so long that you would think that there would at least be a couple hundred people who might be interested in watching these videos, right? So let's see if indeed that is the case, okay? But this is my plan for next year. Now, here's the thing. People might say, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to make thumbnails for those videos? Are you going to put titles on those videos? That is all undecided. It's always possible, but you have to understand that I don't really have time to make thumbnails. Could I title the videos? Well, yeah, but let's say I upload 10 videos. So what am I supposed to do? Watch 150 minutes of gameplay before I upload that night to figure out what's in each video? Probably not. Some of those videos are like 2 fights, If it's playing Final Fantasy 13, it's like 2 big fights or something, So I basically need to think about this. I need to kind of brainstorm what I want to do with this stuff, all right? And go from there. So let me think about it. Let me work on it. Because, by the way, I don't make my own thumbnails. I have people who make stuff for me. And certainly I don't want to commit to having someone have to work their ass off now to pump out a ton of thumbnails and shit because I just decided to start uploading lost media or anything like that, okay? So let me think about it. Let me talk to a couple people. And I also want to think about where I want to upload the content. But that is my first commitment to you. Everyone says, what are your New Year's resolutions, right? My first commitment to you is that in 2024, I want to get that lost media on the internet. I want people to be able to watch my classic stuff that's been missing for ages. And I admit this year, I got caught up with the React stuff and other stuff, and I basically never got around to it. And that's on me. I take the blame for that. That's not your fault. That's me getting so caught up in other shit that I just never bothered with it. But now I want to do that, okay? It's funny because Zen Shuriken says, the problem with making a separate channel is it's only a few playthroughs. Well, let me put it this way. It's Final Fantasy 13. It's Red Dead Redemption. It's Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare, okay? It's Suicide Kings, and it's LA Noire. It's not one playthrough. It's like 4 to 5 playthroughs. We also found some other older lost media. We were looking through those hard drives, if you remember, and I marked it off. There's some footage of like a Kung Fu Panda game that I never uploaded anywhere. There was some vlogs that have been lost to time. So there's other content I very well could put on that channel. You see? There's also potential that other things could happen. To give you an example, maybe in the future, there could be content that's edited together to be a different format. Because those videos were so short, right? 10 minutes. Maybe we could take classic playthroughs from back in the day and instead edit them together at some point and make it, and then that could be the channel to do that, because that's the legacy content. Taking the older content from channels and turning it into more modernized content that's more digestible. As I get older and I move away from doing the stuff of the past, there are still people who like the stuff of the past. But do they want to go back to an ancient channel that I haven't touched in 15 years? To watch 10-minute clips that likely over time have been strucken down and all these issues, or maybe make it a way that it would be more digestible to a modern audience with a title, with a thumbnail. You know what I'm saying? So, you see? That's what I'm thinking, and I think that makes sense. I am now 15 years in the game. I have a huge history, and people want to see some of that history, who are like, there are going to be people over the time that are going to be more interested in me and say, hey, here's a guy who's been around for 15, 20 years on YouTube. How did he start? Oh my God, there's a channel that has all older content. Let me go check that out, right? So anyway, I guess we'll see what happens. Again, I'll give you updates when I get an idea, but I'm really feeling like this is kind of an idea, all right, that'll work. For at least for those who have been around for a long time. You guys have been asking me. I get people every month come by. When's you gonna upload those hard drives? When's all that gonna happen? I think this will be the year. All right, because the truth is, just if I was just gonna upload the raw files, all right, it's really not that much extra work. It's an issue of figuring out when and where and how to do it so it's not intrusive upon my other content. There's no way I can upload it here. It would never work on this channel. It has to be somewhere else. So that's what I'm gonna work on. Okay. Okay, anyway, so that's the first thing, okay, that I can tell you, all right? Outside of that, yes, there are other things in work for 2024, but they are not anywhere close to being announced yet. I will have more information for you, in the near future, and when I do, I promise you some of this stuff, you'll be like, wow, but that's all I'm going to say. I will wow you, but that's all I'm going to say. Okay? Cool. All right, so you know the schedule for this week. You know the rough schedule for next week, including the year-end series. So please nominate your picks for the best playthrough of the year. All right? You know kind of what's coming. All right? So we've covered a lot of topics. I think it's just time for a very brief episode of Phil's Day Off, because I don't really have much to talk about. Yesterday was basically kind of a catch-up day. I did have to run a bunch of errands. And we had kind of a disaster that happened during the day. So basically, I'm out and about. I'm doing my usual thing. I'm doing grocery shopping. I got to get some pet supplies and the like, and I'm picking a few things up while I'm out. I did have to go to the garbage dump for the first time in months. Usually I would go to the dump every 2 months or so, and we actually were on pace that I should have went in like November, but because of the fact that I was sick at the end of October, everything got screwed up and everything, all our scheduling. So finally I had to go to the dump, and I had like a ton of garbage built up that I had to dump at the dump. I'm like, oh my God. So I did that, busy work bullshit. And then I get a text from my wife while I'm out, and she goes, so I know I don't want to dump this on you, but I think our vacuum cleaner just broke. And I'm like, oh no. Of all times, we really can't afford another vacuum cleaner right now, dumping hundreds of dollars into another vacuum cleaner. This sucks. I hope this is not the case. Because the thing is, we have a cat. Jasper sheds, so we need a vacuum cleaner that can handle pet hair. We can't just buy normal vacuum cleaners. You can say, oh, they're cheap. No. They fucking clog up with cat hair. Oh, we know, because we had one when we first got him, and that thing broke within a year. Okay? So, I'm like, don't tell me this thing fucking broke now, of all things. We've had this one, I want to say we've had this one for 2 years or whatever. So I come home, and I'm walking into the house with all of the grocery bags, and I'm putting them down the counter. And Kat, we have a shop vac in the garage, but it's a very little one, and really the only reason we have it is to do things in the garage and clean the car. So that's why we have the shop vac. Now, shop vacs are not meant for like indoor use. This thing has like a hole in the back that it's supposed to have air blow out of. That's how it does. It cycles there, it sucks it in, the air blows out the back. So she's trying to clean the rest of the house with the shop vac. And as she's doing it, what's happening is it's sucking up dirt and dust and hair, but then the exhaust on the back is like a cannon, right? And it's blowing shit all over the other side of the house. So it's like you clean this side, but then it's blowing everything to the other side. So you gotta run to the other side, you're trying to vacuum, then it blows shit to the other side. So there's like, dust, dirt, hair, and it's going vroom, vroom, vroom across the house floor as she's trying to clean the house. It's like a comedy movie. We're like, what the hell is this? Obviously this vacuum is intended just for the garage. That's it. You clean your car, you don't care. But this is just stupid, right? So, basically, she cleans the whole house with this shop vac, which is like 10 times harder to clean the house with the shop vac, right? So then I'm like, what is wrong with this goddamn vacuum? So we unpack all the groceries and everything, right? And I'm like, well, let me take a look. Because this vacuum, all right? Because basically, this vacuum is deluxe for pet hair, all right? So it's got a extendable, aimable hand vac. It's got all kinds of attachments that you plug into the hand vac, and they're all powered too. Like everything's powered. So the hand vac is powered. The attachments are powered. If you plug the hand vac into the vacuum, then the major thing down there is running too, and the ground thing then runs. So it's got like 20 components. And I'm thinking in my head, this thing has a possibility that if any of these components is malfunctioning or shorted or not even connected right, that could be the problem. And we've had issues with this vac before where it's clogged with hair and shit, and then you have to unclog giant areas of it to get it to work again. Like, it'll turn off and not turn on again, right? So I start going through the entire system of the vacuum. First, I'm looking at the hand vac. No, that's not clogged. And I'm shaking the tube. No, that's not clogged, right? Unplugging the attachment. So now we know it can't be the attachment, right? Because the attachment's not even attached, so it can't be the attachment that's causing the problem. It still doesn't turn on. All right, let's go down here. So I'm going through the whole vacuum. So finally, I look at the bottom. There's nothing clogged at the bottom. There's nothing wrong there. So I said, well, where does this hand vac actually attach to the vacuum? And I realized it's detachable. Why? If the hand vac is the power button to the entire vacuum and it doesn't turn on without the hand vac, then why would it be detachable? You can't unplug it and use it. There's no power to it. It has to, you know what I mean? So I detach it. There's nothing clogged or anything, okay? I reattach it. Vacuum turns on. I'm staring. I'm like, there was nothing there. It wasn't clogged. It wasn't loose. It wasn't broken. It just didn't want to turn on. It's like it willed itself off. It didn't want to turn on. There was literally nothing wrong with it at all. It wasn't the filter. The filter, my wife changed the filter. She emptied the whole thing. It was, I guess, a bad connection between the hand vac and the vacuum itself because it has metal prongs that power it, right? And I'm looking, I'm like, why did it... I don't know. I have no idea. I really don't know. But then it turned on and off, and I'm like, well, thank God. Crisis averted, because we really can't afford another vacuum right now. So at least that was averted. But it was just sucks, because my wife cleaned the whole house with a shop vac, which is probably 3 times, harder to do, because the thing's blowing air everywhere, which is not meant for indoor use, right? But, I'm like, well, that was really stupid. At least it works now. And, you know, the thing is, no guarantee it's going to keep working. We hope this isn't a recurring issue that gets worse and worse. But what are you going to do? Like I said, we've had this vacuum for like 2 years. It seems like every vacuum we get is 2 years. The last 2 years, dies. So when Kat first moved in here with me, we had a vacuum for like maybe a few months. It died, but that was my old vacuum. So we got a new vacuum, and that one lasted till like 2010, 2011, died. Then we got this one. Now it's 2 years. Gonna die, right? It's like every 2 years. So I guess we'll see what happens. Okay? We'll have to see what happens. But that was really it. After that, you know, we unpacked groceries. We actually ordered some food. We ended up ordering some sushi. We haven't had sushi in a while. We were craving sushi, so we got some of the one sushi. That's the one that I told you is like the delayed action spice. So it's like salmon and some eel and other like raw fish, raw tuna. You put it in your mouth. At first, it's very fishy, and you eat it. And when you swallow it, all of a sudden, this burning spice goes across your tongue, like zoom, down your tongue into your throat. You're like, whoa! It's like delayed action spice. It's really cool. And then the other one we got was more sweet. I think that one had tempura, shrimp, and crab and other things in it. So we had a couple orders of sushi. It was really tasty. And it was a good dinner. So we enjoyed that. And then after that, Kat played an hour or two of Far Cry 6. And I watched her play and I actually helped her in a few parts. There was some... She wanted to see if she could snipe stuff from a big distance. But she just didn't have, like, the calmness of hand to do a really good sniper shot. So she handed me the controller a couple times. I was sniping, like, the alarm box from a big far away. And, yeah, I sniped a couple guys. So... She played that for a couple hours, and after that, what did we do after that? Oh, we actually started watching someone else play RoboCop. Which, again, I like the fact that when you're playing a narrative-based game, you can watch someone else play it and make different choices and see if that has different outcomes. So we're going to see if someone else made different narrative choices from me, if that makes things happen differently than what happens in my playthrough. Okay? So there you go. That was our day off. Nothing super spectacular. Nothing too crazy, but a fun day nonetheless, and a day of some fun with my wife. You know, hoping that in January we can actually have some normal days out. And what I mean by that is, like, we haven't really had normal days out in ages. The days out that we had in December were insanely hectic, where we had, like, appointment, and we had to go out a million times for appointments. And I didn't really like that. I prefer to go out and just have a more relaxed day with my wife where we don't have to run around do stuff when we're out. And we haven't had a day like that in ages. You know, and my wife, like I told you guys, she got me some nice cologne, which I'm going to save it. I'm not going to wear that like around the house because it's nice cologne. So I'm just going to wear it when we go out. So, you know, I want to go out, but we have to go out. So we'll see what happens in 2024, I guess. There you go. By the way, I see a whole new group of idiots here in the chat today being stupid. So let me just get rid of these people. Hold on a second here. People being real nasty and negative, and that's not allowed. So if you don't want to be here and you don't want to join the podcast and have fun, then why are you on the podcast? You can just leave like this, like I'm ejecting you right now, so we don't have to hear your nonsense. Cool. Okay. Got rid of a couple of them there. So that is the Phil's Day Off segment. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everyone's favorite segment, and it's time for a nice epic rant. It is time for the news segment, also known as DSPN. We have one story today that I'd like to cover. There were a few during my day off, but none of them really resonated, or I didn't really care too much about them, quite frankly. One story has resonated. Ladies and gentlemen, do any of you remember a game that came out early this year that at the time was highly praised, was selling like hotcakes, everyone was talking about it, okay? I did an amazing playthrough of it, others did a playthrough of it, but it was so controversial that all of a sudden, people seem to act like the game doesn't exist. Of course, the game that I am talking about is called Hogwarts Legacy, the first ever major Harry Potter or Hogwarts universe game where you could actually open world roam not only, you know, the Hogwarts Academy, but also the towns around it, all these dungeons, all this content, right? a game that sold like crazy. Do you remember how it was insanely great of a seller when it came out? And it's funny because people talked about it for a while, but it always had to be embroiled with controversy about, is it okay to like this game? Because J.K. Rowling, the original creator of the Harry Potter universe, has been saying things politically for years about trans people and messed up stuff. And so is it okay to like this game even if you don't agree with the politics of the creator of the universe? And I don't know how that became the dialogue. It's just a fucking video game. Okay? And the best part about it is the people who made the game have no association with J.K. Rowling at all. In fact, they completely disagree with her statements in politics. There is a character in this game who is trans, who is a very positive character, well-written, well-liked, and one of the more positive people in the entire game, portrayed in a completely great light. Okay? So how you can actually be supporting, trans people and then say this game is anti-trans, I have no idea. You didn't play it. Basically, you didn't play it, you didn't watch someone play it, you didn't review it, you just said, oh, Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling, I hate this, like an idiot. Instead of having any factual basis for anything you're saying, you just, knee-jerk reaction politically to things, right? Sadly, that's just what a lot of people do these days. It's very sad, but that's what it is, a lot of knee-jerk reaction people. Personally, I made the choice that I wanted to play this game. I even did a YouTube short about it that had tens of thousands of views after a while. I think it was like 10,000 views after a while. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was like 5,000 views. I haven't seen the short in a million years. But basically, my choice is based on the fact I wanted to play a good game. I'm not going to let politics of a creator that didn't even make the game or have a hand in making it, all right, affect my ability to enjoy a video game that very well could be one of the best of the year I wanted to judge for myself, all right? So what I can tell you is, over the course of my playthrough, because it's a lengthy game, okay? Tons of content. So it's value, it's a good value of a game. The game starts off absolutely crazy strong, right? It's really good at the beginning. When you're first exploring Hogwarts, when you're first exploring the outside towns and environments, and once you start getting into dungeons and challenges and puzzles, it's really well done. The story elements are good. They're interesting. You're taking classes, but you're also interacting with other students and other people. You're interacting with the creatures of the universe. You're getting new traversal abilities. You ride a broom. You're riding a freaking griffin or whatever the hell it is. I forgot what they call it in the Harry Potter universe, right? It's really, really good. Then when you hit about the halfway point, it's still good, but not as good, because you kind of realize there's not that much else. Once you start unlocking you got most of the good spells unlocked, right? You've already seen the town now, so you're not won over by the town anymore or anything like that. You start to realize, all right, it was really strong early on. Halfway through, it's still good, but it's definitely starting to sputter, right? It's like, it's losing its momentum. The final third of the game is pretty damn boring. I'm not going to lie. Like they ran out of ideas. There's a whole third of the map that opens up at the end, and you're like, okay, this is cool. There's going to be all new elements. There's literally not a single new element in the final third of the game. It's super boring. You're like, oh my god, the same puzzles, the same enemies, the same shit again. And so by the time you finish the game, the ending of the game is good, but you have to get through so much grindy, repetitive stuff to get to the ending. It does lose its momentum, and it's like, okay, this is a great first attempt outing by the studio. Now, if they can follow this up with a game that doesn't lose its good pacing and momentum, right, then the second game could be much better. Like, that's how I felt. Like, the second attempt could be super good. This one was good, don't get me wrong. I'm happy I played it. I really am. But it definitely sputtered out at the end, and it's a shame, okay? So, here we are at the end of the year, and we just had the Game Awards. Did you notice something at the Game Awards? Do you know how many times Hogwarts Legacy was nominated? Wait, what? But it's the first time that the true Hogwarts universe was realized in a fully interactive open world environment. It had good graphics. It had good gameplay elements. It had a ton of things in it that would equate to a game that should be awarded for the hard work and effort. And it got 0 nominations. 0 for anything. Even if you could argue, okay, maybe the plot sputters out. The art direction You're telling me the fucking game's art direction wasn't good? That was the first time we ever saw the Hogwarts universe in a 3D interactive environment. It reminds me of South Park: The Stick of Truth, when it was the first time you actually saw the town of South Park in a mapped out environment and you got spatial awareness of where everything was, and to see it all be tied together was so damn neat. This did it even better than that, but gets absolutely no art direction whatsoever, no credit, right? If anything, I feel awful for the people who worked on this game, because the entire time they're working on it, they're working with the stigma that they're working with some kind of a bigot or whatever. They're not. They did not talk to J.K. Rowling. They had zero input from her. This game has nothing to do with her politics. In fact, the game is the opposite of her politics. So imagine you're a game dev working on this game. You're creating a character who's a trans character that's incredibly positive, right? Really well written. A great representation of the trans community in this game. You're doing all these things, painstakingly creating the environments, and you want everything to be true to the people who are true fans of Harry Potter. Ridiculous amounts of people buy the game, and now absolutely no one pretends like it ever existed. Like, oh, this is the figment of our imaginations. Huh? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? The Game Awards are bullshit. They are 100% political. There's no reason why Hogwarts Legacy should have been forgotten at the Game Awards. That is 100% a political decision by the incredibly leftist-leaning gaming journalism community, saying, well, just because it's J.K. Rowling Association, the game didn't exist. Fuck you. That is called being completely biased. You've destroyed any modicum, any instance of impartiality. When you decide at the end of the year, when you're looking at the best games of the year, that this game doesn't even get mentioned like it never existed, go fuck yourself. Get the fuck out of the industry if you cannot be impartial, because that's the point of journalism. Get it? But they're not. They're completely biased. The entire games industry is leftist leaning. That's bullshit. The people who worked on the game are not a bunch of hyper conservatives. Why do they get screwed over? Because the industry is so fucked in this brainwashed mentality that everything's about politics. It's not. You dumb fucking idiots. It's not always about you and your politics. It's about, was the game good? Yes, it was. It wasn't the best game of the year, but there were tons of parts of that game that were really awesome. They're awe-inspiring. To see those things rendered in a real 3D environment for the first time, and to get that feeling of awe walking around Hogwarts, all the attention, the little things added. To say the game doesn't exist is an insane disservice to the entire gaming industry, and you should be kicked out of your fucking jobs if you think that you don't have to be impartial. You do. So you might be wondering why I'm bringing this up today. You want to know why? Here's why. Because Hogwarts Legacy is on track to becoming the best-selling game of 2023 in the United States. I want to repeat that statement. For the first time since 2009, the United States is going to have a game that sold more than Call of Duty and sold more than any Rockstar game. It's actually going to be the best-selling game of the year. Yes. I know people, huh? Yes. Because remember, the Switch version just came out. So not only are all the sales from PC and the console, now the Switch version came out and a bunch of people bought it for Christmas. So it's going to be the bestseller of the year, or it's going to be damned close. But the game doesn't exist. According to the games journalism community, Hogwarts Legacy, I never heard of it. Right? I don't know what you're talking about. It's the best-selling game of the fucking year. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, fuck you then. Then you know what? I never heard of you. Sorry, IGN. Sorry, GameSpot. Sorry, Kotaku. Sorry, every other fucking gaming journalist website that ignores shit. You don't exist to me because none of you can acknowledge fucking facts. We don't ignore facts in our faces because we have politics involved and you have opinions that have nothing to fucking do with the game. Okay? So, yeah, it's bullshit. And I'm fucking pissed because, yeah, listen, Hogwarts Legacy is not my game of the year pick. I don't think that's going to be anyone's surprise to hear that. It's not. It's a good game, but it's not my game of the year pick. But still, those game developers deserve credit for what they did. Absolutely, they do. They shouldn't be punished because the creator of the universe might have a stance that a lot of people don't agree with, and the fucking games media are a bunch of leftist-leaning, biased, bigoted idiots. Yes, I'm going to say that. The games media are bigots because they're bigoted against anything they don't agree with, which is why, oh, well, The Last of Us 2 is the ultimate, penultimate, best, or not penultimate, but the ultimate game ever. Will never be topped because it's because of the themes. Because you like the fact that the main character was gay. You like that, right? You like the fact that the other main character was a more butch kind of woman who was strong, and that's not this typical heroine that likes to be pushed forward in the whole games media or the game industry, right? Everyone wants a Lara Croft, not an Abby, right? But because it has Abby, oh, that's great. And because Ellie's gay, oh, that's great. So that's Game of the Year, right? Okay, well, what about all the other games that came out that year? What about Ghost of Tsushima? What's that? I never heard of that. Oh, okay. Sure, whatever you say. How about the fact that the plot of that game is atrocious? That it's basically torture porn, that the pacing's awful, that it jumps around timelines so badly you get confused, that it completely changes the personalities of the characters from the previous games for plot devices. I mean, I could go on and on about how narratively that game is trash, but it's Game of the Year no matter what, because it pushed all the ideas we like of the leftist gaming media. We love this, right? So because of that, Game of the Year, and if you disagree with us, you're a bigot. Oh, well, guess what? Since you ignored Hogwarts Legacy, you're all bigots. Every one of you. You're so bigoted against things that you don't agree with that you will ignore entire games as if they don't exist. That's bigotry. That's prejudice. That's exactly what that is. So they're just as bad going the other way. Now, you can argue that being one way or the other way is better than the other, and that's your job. I'm more, you know me, I'm in the middle. I try to see things objectively from each side. And for me, the way I see this, they have really done a disservice to anyone who worked at Hogwarts Legacy. How could this be the best-selling game of the year in the United States? For the first time in 14 years, we're going to have a game that's not Call of Duty and not GTA that's going to be the best-selling game, and we act like it never existed just because J.K. Rowling. Get the fuck out of here. Anyway, that's the news for today. I had to cover it. Take your opinions on that however as you would. I think that's pretty fucked up. All right. It's time for shoutouts. So let's jump into shoutouts. Let's get a few things going here. We start off today with Sergeant Arch Dornan, who did a super chat claiming that I have a son, and I don't care. I don't care about your memes. Thanks for the super chat. 672 did a super chat and says, you should look into my vacuum store sucking Sam's. Your vacuum store sucking Sam's. Isn't that a meme, or isn't that like from a show or something? I don't know. Anyway. I'm not seeking out any vacuum parts from anyone. Tell Wings he's in the clear. Okay, Trailblazers became a member this morning. Thank you to Trailblazers. You know, I haven't mentioned anything about goals today. My goals for today are as follows. All right. Number one, I'm looking to hit 710 members, hopefully by the end of today. All right. Good day today between Baldur's Gate and Street Fighter today. It's a solid day of gameplay. My goal is to try to keep above 700 members before the end of the year. All right. Well, the end of the year is Sunday night into Monday. So if I have 700 members when we hit 2024, that would be absolutely amazing. So we're only 4 members away, and I'd like to try to keep it above. And, you know, we lose a few every day as we gain. So one great way to support the channel right now would be to become a member or give some memberships. The other way, of course, I try to hit the tier 1 tips goal every single stream. If we hit tier 1 today, that would be outstanding. If we exceed it, because Baldur's Gate, which have been great streams for that, it would be even better. I would really appreciate that. Thank you in advance to anyone who supports the streams. All right. So thank you, 672 for the super chat. Thank you, Trailblazers, for the membership. Sergeant Arch Dornan, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about, but still appreciate it. Okay. Now we swing over to tips. So, I received a $10 tip from Axel overnight. Thank you to Axel for a $10 tip. Let's see what Axel has to say. Hey, Phil, after watching your playthroughs and hearing Slayer's tip, I decided to download Baldur's Gate 3. I've been having a lot of fun with it, or a lot more fun with it than I thought I would. Your playthrough with your chat has helped me and assisted me a lot. My favorite moment so far is kicking the annoying scroll at the beginning of the game into a tree. Wow. I hope you stick with Baldur's Gate 3. It's been a lot of fun to watch you learn the game. Keep up the great content. Well, I don't know about kicking a squirrel into a tree. I didn't do that. I think I did a dialogue check. I probably would not kick a squirrel into a tree. I love all kinds of creatures. In fact, like I said, out back every day we put some nuts or crackers or something out there. And we get squirrels, birds, and all kinds of stuff who come and eat at our back porch. And we love that. So I probably would not kick the squirrel. But to each their own. That is the beauty of Baldur's Gate 3 is that you can choose to do missions as you would. And I'm glad to hear that you're enjoying it. And thank you for the tip. I have received a $1 tip. Huh? I got an anonymous $1 tip. If the Game Awards are biased against Hogwarts Legacy for being woke, why did Last of Us 2 win Game of the Year a while back? What? That's not what I said at all. I said that the Game Awards are biased against Hogwarts Legacy because J.K. Rowling invented the universe and she is anti-trans. It's the opposite. Because they view that anything associated with J.K. Rowling is anti-woke, basically. That's why you completely misunderstood what I was saying. It's the opposite. They are the games media are incredibly leftist leaning, okay? Incredibly progressive. So, Last of Us 2, Game of the Year no matter what. Oh, really? What about this? Oh, you don't like Last of Us 2? You're a bigot. But I have a valid reason to not like the game. You're a bigot. Oh, okay, great. I'm a bigot now. Okay. Well, what about Hogwarts Legacy? It has all these great things. Oh, no, J.K. Rowling. What are you talking about? What do you mean? Well, it's a good game. It has all this robust universe, complex things we've never seen before, great attention to detail, all these things that for the first time ever utilized in a J.K. Rowling. You can't talk about that game. Oh, I see. You misunderstood what I said. Sorry if you misunderstood. Maybe I wasn't clear. I was actually saying exactly the opposite of what you just said. Thank you for the $1 tip. Okay. Okay. You know, if anything, what's a testament to how good Hogwarts Legacy was? My wife, it was not a fan of Harry Potter. She knew of Harry Potter. She had seen a couple of the movies. She wasn't a fan. She played the crap out of Hogwarts Legacy. She loved it. Yes, just like me. When she got to the final third, she did get bored. But she was immersed in that universe for the longest time and loved the game a ton. I'm curious to hear what her Game of the Year picks actually are. You know, because maybe she thinks that's one of the best of the year because she doesn't play as many games as me. But she was just taken in by how good it was. Right? And so how can you say the game doesn't exist? It's the best-selling game of the year. It's sucking people into this universe for the first time. Oh, that game doesn't exist because, you know, J.K. Rowling. Oh. All right, let's continue. I received, let's see here. I got a $2 tip. I don't know if this message was for me. Should I read it? I have no idea what this is a reference to. I received an anonymous $2 tip. Wait till you hear to this one. I'm going to read it word for word. You tell me what this set means. The golf cart is really fun. I'm sticking my tongue out at people, putting my hands above my head like a moose. I'm beating my chest and I'm making a peace sign, making funny noises and making my smile and eyes big. Okay. Well, have fun with that. I have no idea what you're saying. But thanks for the $2 tip. Okay. Well, whatever you're doing, wherever you're doing that golf cart thing, I hope you're enjoying. I don't know where that's happening or how that's happening, or I'm very confused. All right. John Smith, I do not have the original Red Dead Redemption on this channel. That is wrong. Are you watching my redos? I redid Red Dead Redemption 1 and Undead Nightmare on this channel years later, but those were different editions, and it was direct capture. These are my original playthroughs of those games when they were brand new with a camera. So I think you're misunderstanding. Little Shagamake says, that was me. I was going to ride in a golf cart. Huh? Now I'm really confused. What? So one person is telling me Red Dead Redemption and Undead Nightmare are still on the channel. They're not. Those are my HD capture versions from a few years ago. Those are the replays. The original playthroughs are not on this channel. They are camera, not direct capture, and those are the lost media ones. I guess Little Shagamake is saying he's in a golf cart doing things. Oh. Well, have fun. Don't crash. I have no idea what you're talking about. Thanks for the $2 tip. Okay. I received a whopping 15 gifted memberships from Lucky Gremlin this morning. Thank you so much, Lucky Gremlin. So shout outs to the following people. Are you ready? Escanor, Sin of Pride. What? Gregor Clegane. Stormforce Gamer. It's Snoopy. Johnny Johnson. Captain Wilson. Sideshow Bob. Preem Sardine. Wok Warrior. It Never Ends, Walter Moss, the Kurt Russell with a question mark, Edie 82 or Ed 82, and Girl Wearing Purple. So congratulations to all of you. Be sure to thank Lucky Gremlin for those gifted memberships. Thank you so much, Lucky Gremlin, for supporting the channel. Let's take a quick look and see where we are now with total members so I have the right number. But it sounds like we just smashed our members goal for the day, in which case I don't have to worry about it, right? Cool. Let's take a look. We are currently at 711 members. 711. And no, not the convenience store, but the number of members who are enjoying memberships. Oops. So thank you again so much, Lucky Gremlin. Thank you. Happy holidays to you. I really appreciate that. And yeah, that means that goal is all set. Well, I'm not even going to talk about members again today. Or what's the point? We already hit it, right? Well, I should say on this stream. Tonight, for Street Fighter, of course, I'll say, hey, if anyone wants to be a member or whatever. But there you go. Awesome. So good. And also, Felix the Maid popping their 13-month membership upping and says, woke or not, life's too short to be arguing about this. No, I agree. I find it so crazy to me that, like, that people are just, like, arguing over this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, how do you even ignore a game? I don't know. We already talked about it. I really want to get into it again. To me, it's like, oh, I'm actively going to ignore a game's existence because of my politics. Like, okay, I guess if you want to ignore people too, I guess, you know, I don't know how that works. Anyway, I received a $20 tip from 1 Minute Man. He says, as you said, confront Kaga, and you can fight her. And he says, who is Saza? I don't know who that is. He says, if Saza is still alive, you can save her. If you sneak out of the cave, go to the back, climb, exit through stone door, she'll add to the story. I don't even know who that is. Who is Saza? I have no idea. That name doesn't even ring a bell. But, okay. I guess we'll have to look into that. Like, if you're talking about stuff with the hag fight, you know, we had ended up right at the end of that fight, and I haven't even looted yet or anything. So I guess we'll have to try to figure that out today. I don't know what you're talking about, though. But, no, I have every intention to go back to the Druid camp and confronting whatever her name was, Kaga, about what we found in the swamp. So that's probably one of the major things we're doing today in the game. All right, thank you so much once again, 1 Minute Man, as always, for your support of my streams and content. I really appreciate that. Okay. All right, cool. Thank you to Mark. Mark just pumping their 1 year anniversary membership message here and says, watch you, Phil, for 10 plus years. Great streamer. Thank you so much, Mark. I'm glad that you enjoy the content, and thanks for supporting it. All right, guys, we have a few minutes left to chat it up before I end the pre-stream or the podcast. Hey, isn't it funny? I've been doing it, the Level 1 podcast, or the pre-stream podcast now for like 2 years. I still call it the pre-stream and set in my ways. Anyway, does anyone have any questions, any topics on your mind? Anyone like to shout out anything, talk about anything? Please tag me in the chat right now at DSPGaming, and we'll chat it up a little bit here before we begin. Carliga says Steam charts. Top 3 releases are Hogwarts, Starfield, and Baldur's Gate 3. First one is the best-selling overall. Second one was also released on Game Pass. Last one is Game of the Year and was early access. Twitter in shambles. So essentially, Hogwarts has beaten out the Game of the Year and the game that was on Game Pass and had all that hype behind it in sales on Steam. Gotcha. Sunday, what's a good price range for a good laptop? That's up to you for which features you want in your laptop. Branding is important, all that stuff. I can't answer that. There's no generalized answer. Thoughts on upcoming games? I hope they're good. Did you play Sonic Team Racing? No. What are your thoughts on rollback netcode? It sucks. What is your vacuum brand? I don't know. Would you ever play Mario Galaxy 2? I want to, but they haven't remade it for a modern console. Am I going to play Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League? I have absolutely no idea. I should have Kat do a top 10 games of the... I called her Kat. I should have Kat do a top 10 games of the year and read them off in the chat. If Kat ever wants to come on stream, she's welcome for any reason. It's up to her. Would I play Metal Gear Solid 5 again? Yes, maybe someday. What's my most anticipated game of next year? Right now, it's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Iron Gulls has been watching for 10 years. Thanks for years of laughs. About Sunday, is it too late to retract a submission video and replace it with another? No, you have time to do that right now. You have time to do that still. Did Kat like The Last of Us 2? No. What's my favorite color? Don't have one. I like a few, like blue, red are probably my 2 favorites. There is a new year-end playlist command that we have in the chat. If you type !year-end, there is a new playlist created by a fan and viewer. This playlist runs through all of my year-end series from 2009 until last year. 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. All in a row. It includes Game of the Year. It includes disappointing games of the year. It includes any fan interaction. Those kind of things. Funniest moments, I think, are in there. It's all the year-end series. You can watch them now in a row in that playlist. If you'd like to get hype for next week's year-end stuff, you can see what I thought every year up to now. Shout out to the person who made that playlist. I appreciate that very much. I hope people enjoy it, and I need to start talking about it to get hype, right? Now's a good time to watch the legacy stuff to prepare for the new stuff, right? There you go. The only stuff missing is stuff that's not on YouTube. So, for example, my Game of the Years for 2010 is missing. It's one of the legacy media things. Did I not find it on the hard drives? I think I did. That's some of the legacy media stuff that's missing, because that was the year I uploaded everything to Blip TV, and the Blip TV stuff doesn't exist anymore, right? So there you go. That's like the one that's missing. So do I have a favorite regular in chat? No, I don't play favorites. Have a great week. Thank you to Roll. I appreciate that. Am I excited for PlayStation exclusives in 2024? Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Tekken 8. Tekken 8 is PS exclusive? I didn't even know that. I thought it was cross-platform. Helldivers 2, Foam Stars, Rise of the Ronin, Stellar Blade. I feel like it's way too light on one player. X. Huh? Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, yes. Tekken 8, yes. And Rise of the Ronin, yes. I really don't care about any of the other games. So half of the ones you mentioned, I'm pretty excited for. I had no idea that Tekken 8 was PlayStation exclusive. Are you sure about that? I don't think it is. I think it's cross-platform. When am I swapping Christmas stuff out? Right now, I'm leaving this for the whole week, okay? Likely the first full week of January is when you're going to see the snow stop. You're going to see the Christmas decorations gone. And we'll have 4 straight weeks of actual you know, more New Year's themed stuff. But I listen. It's the holiday season. It's winter. I'm keeping this stuff for the week, and then next week, you know, we'll swap it over. Okay. No, I'm not playing the finals. Can we get a zoom in? No. Yes. Shit. Now this is why I don't do it, because now I can't. There we go. Couldn't find the other one. He's lying. Tekken 8 is on the Xbox systems and crossplay. That's what I thought. I'm pretty sure it was. I know. Winter just started. Winter literally just started. So for me to have the snow and stuff is kind of cool. I would keep it January and February. People didn't mind, but I think people might get upset if I leave it too long. A lot of people just associate the snow with Christmas. I don't know why. We're gonna have colder weather in the next 1 to 2 months than we've had for Christmas. You know, like our temperatures are gonna go down in the next couple of months. Did I hear Nintendo's next console is rumored to release next year? Yeah, but there's no substance to that whatsoever. It's just rumor monger idiots on the internet making shit up again, as always. The Drew Corporation popping his 3-month re-upping of his membership. He says Jeff didn't want to risk the smoke with Hogwarts. Yeah, you know, Jeff is 100% in the midst of the industry. The industry is 99% left-leaning. He has to be in line with all of his buddies. So he's not going to put up a stink that his buddies didn't nominate Hogwarts, you know? No, we don't have a New Year's tradition, only because with me, I almost always work on New Year's. My wife, over the years, has worked on New Year's Eve and day too. So we literally don't have anything that we plan or do traditionally for New Year's, simply because every year is a little different. You know, Christmas, yes. New Year's, no. We don't really do anything. John Smith, goodbye. I'll see you later. Gregor Clegane, you were gifted a membership by the Lucky Gremlin this morning. He's asking, who gifted me a membership? I missed it. It was Lucky Gremlin. They gifted 15, and you were one of the lucky 15. Excuse me. If I lean left when I lean in manual band, does that make me left-leaning? Well, hold on. So here I am. I'm going to do a lean-in manual band. Am I leaning left? I guess, well, hold on. I'm leaning left here in first person, but to the camera, I'm leaning right. Right? So... so that makes me ultra-centrist. That's right. Ultra-centrist. Oh my god. It balances out. It balances out. No one on either side likes Darkside Phil. Everyone hates him. That center-leaning asshole. What a center asshole. You got the people on the right, the people on the left, and then that asshole in the middle. There he is, wedged between the two butt cheeks. He's the asshole. There you go. What would leaning far left look like? We'll take a look at Joe Biden falling down one of the 27 sets of stairs he fell down in the last couple of years. Or if you want to know what does leaning far right look like, take a look at one of Donald Trump's spray tans from the last... I make fun of both sides. I will make fun of both sides. I don't care. That's what I mean. I'm not a political guy. I'll make fun of everybody. Right? That's right. Collect. It's like, you know how some people collect trading cards or knickknacks or action figures? Well, Donald Trump collects felony indictments. It's like his hobby. You know, Anyway, let's continue. I received a $1.30 tip. Let's see here. It's anonymous. It says, I'm proud of you for pioneering a new form of content with Baldur's Gate. Chat plays the game for you and holds your hand the entire time. That's the content people come to you for. There you go. You're welcome. In fact, I'm actually, you may not realize this, but I'm about to rebrand the whole channel. You know, fans play. Or what was it? Twitch plays Pokemon. So what would it be? Fans play Baldur's Gate 3? That's what we're going to do. We're going to change the whole thing. That's absolutely right. So there you go. You do realize there is a thing here. It's called buying the game and playing it for your fucking self. So that you don't have to complain that you don't like the way someone else plays the game. Did you realize that's an option? Yeah. You can actually get the game and play it however you want. And then we don't have to hear you bitch about it in a $1.30 tip. It's a remarkable concept, isn't it? Wow. Groundbreaking stuff. I received a $5 tip from Axel. And he says, all this woke political stuff has to stop. Keep up Baldur's Gate 3 streaming. Has been a lot of fun. Thanks for being a good guy. You are welcome. Axel, thank you so much for the $5 tip this morning. And, of course, for the $10 tip overnight. Here's the thing. As you guys know, I'm not a political guy. I'm not. I don't care about these politics. I just don't want them in games. I don't understand. The whole point of video games, and I keep telling you guys this, is that when you're playing a game, right? When I sit down right here in my office and I pick up this controller, right? Or I pick up this joystick, all right? Is because I want to escape reality. It's not because I want to simulate reality. I want to escape it. That's why I'm playing a video game. That's why I'm not doing reality simulator or something. You know what I mean? So if my entire reality, everywhere I go, it's politics, 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 politics. Everywhere I turn. Do you really think the next thing I want to do when I boot up the video game is politics, 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 politics? But that's what, it's like some people just can't separate the two. They have no ability in their mind to have that level of maturity or intelligence to say we will draw a line and go zah, separate so that nothing has to keep permeating through each side, right? People just don't have that ability. I hate to say it. That's why I keep telling you guys, like everyone says to me, Phil, why don't you do politics? Because there are people right now watching this who if I said, guys, 100% I'm this way or that way, I have this feeling, I'm never watching Phil again. Never. Because he doesn't agree with me politically on this one issue, I can never watch his content ever again. There's tons of people I don't agree with. I don't disown them all. I don't say, well, what about the checkout person at the grocery store? Well, I heard that they're very political this one way. Well, I can't go to that grocery line anymore. I can't deal with that person. What? Like, huh? I really like chicken sandwiches, but I'm not going to ever eat a Chick-fil-A because they're very hyper-religious and I'm just anti-religion. It's chicken. It's a fucking chicken sandwich. What the fuck are you talking about? People are like this. Like, what the hell is your problem? That all of life is not all about you and these ideas in your head. No, it's not. No, really. I'll tell you right now. All of existence is not about the personal feelings and thoughts in your head. Everyone out there, you should maybe get a wake-up call if you think that it's all about your belief system and shit. It's not. Existence will go on even if your belief system doesn't. Things still exist. All right? So things can exist outside of the realm of what you think is right or wrong or this or that. It still happens. Things still happen, It just blows my mind. Good Lord. How can you be so like that, To me, listen, as I get older, I want to hear everyone's perspectives. I totally understand why there are some people who don't want to partake in Hogwarts Legacy. That they feel that if they spent money on that game, that they're putting money in J.K. Rowling's pockets, and they feel like she's such a bad person for the things she said that are anti-trans, and she's incredibly harmful to the community. I get that reasoning. I understand it, and I respect it. That's your opinion, and if you choose to skip that game, fine. If you choose to say it's not something that I'm interested in, fine. But to ignore the existence of the game like it didn't exist when it's going to be the best-selling game of the year, that's madness. Madness. There's a difference. Okay. Well, there you go. Baldur says, I had to give up all chicken fillets of all kinds because I heard that chicken's political stances don't align with my own. There you go. I can't eat chicken anymore. Joel Loft says, just skip an Avatar completely. I've just finished the game. It was a typical by-the-numbers Ubisoft game. It became so mind-numbing by the end. There you go. Hey, I'm playing Avatar. It's called Far Cry 6. I'm watching my wife play it right now on Game Pass, so I'll just pretend everyone's blue. I'll say I play Avatar. There you go. American MAGA Undertaker, of course, now choosing this moment to pop his re-upping of his membership for 10 months to say, make America great again. At this point, that slogan is so, like, cartoony, right? I hate to say it. Like, it's been so overdone and politicized, and so many people make fun of it, and so many people push it like it has meaning. It's just a cartoon at this point. It's ridiculous. It would be much better if there was another slogan that they would come up with, those people, because I don't think anyone takes it seriously anymore. Sarah says, do you think with how bad Starfield is, it made people appreciate how good Baldur's Gate 3 is? Yeah, for sure. When you had a game that was so ridiculously hyped as the next big Bethesda IP, and everyone was counting on it to be good, and it comes out and it's literally exactly the same as every other Bethesda game you've ever played, with lack of polish, insane loading times, bullshit out the ass, bugs out the wazoo, not great development of story and stuff. Yeah, it's just, when you have that comparison of this versus this, and now you can see that this was supposed to be great, but oh god, why is this so much better? It just makes everything else look better. It really does. Oh, yeah, guys, I don't know. Again, I keep telling you guys, anything involving my wife is up to her. I'm not going to pressure her for anything. If she ever has any interest in doing stuff, I'm not going to say, hey, will you write down your favorite games of the year and I'll read them to everyone. I don't know. Well, let's see what she wants to do, okay? This is my show. It always has been. If she ever wants to be a part of my stuff, I keep telling everyone, the door is always open. She's always welcome to be a part of it. Okay? Let's leave it at that. All right, are we good? I think we covered quite a lot on today's show. I think it's time to adjourn the show. I want to say thanks. You've been a great audience. It's been a good, interesting show. And now it is time to end that show and to begin with today's gameplay. I actually need to change out these slides. Did I change out the Christmas for New Year's? Hold on a second. I might have changed out the Christmas for New Year's. I want to see if I did. Hold on. Ah, shit. Okay, hold on. I thought I had and I hadn't. Let me get rid of the Christmas. I'm going to keep the winter. But I want to add the New Year picture that I've got here. I have two of them, actually, that I can add. And I just got to put them in order. Hold on. I'll do this on the fly before I forget, because if I don't do it, I'm going to forget, and I'm not going to do it. There's so much else shit going on. Alright, so let's do this. Here we go. Okay, let's let this run now. Let's see if you guys like it. So, everyone, as the new year approaches, thank you so very much for tuning in to DSP Gaming and the Level 1 podcast. As always, I am never partisan to anything. I see it for it is. I speak to it as it is, in my perspective, and you don't have to agree. As long as you enjoy, right? That's what it's all about. So thank you for watching. I'm excited for today's gameplay. I hope that you'll join me and stick around if you can, if you're on stream, and if you're not, if you watch on demand, that would be sweet of you as well to check out the stuff, Baldur's Gate 3 particularly, and of course, I love Street Fighter. And tomorrow, I'm sure we'll be talking all about how it went, plus anything else going on in the landscape of gaming. Thank you all. Great show today. See you tomorrow. Peace out.